What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Nurture Network podcast. Today's topic is going to be on the subject of failure, specifically 3 reasons why we need to fail. Now, I'm just going to go straight into this because I want to go straight to the value and not waste your time. So, without further ado, the first reason of why we need to fail is because failure is literally one of life's greatest teachers. And I know how philosophical that sounds, how cliche or generic it may sound, but it's genuinely just so true. And to be honest, even you realize that without realizing it. What I mean is, when we fail, it allows us to rethink or reconsider new ways, new ideas, new strategies of doing something the right way. Because I'm sure there's been occasions in your life where you failed at something, you practiced, and you then overcame that failure and got it the next time. I can think of multiple occasions in my life where that has happened. For example, I remember when I trialed out for the first football team that I tried to get into, and I went to the trial and didn't get in because I wasn't good enough, and I failed, right? I did fail because, I just was not up to standard as the others were. And obviously that felt terrible at the time. But fortunately I had good friends. I had my dad who said, okay, you didn't make it this time. This is how you get there next time. And, I practiced. I got better at passing, at shooting, at running. And by the next trial came, I was in a better position than I was in the first trial. So I made it. And I'm sure there's very similar situations that have happened with you. But that just really shows how failure can be one of life's greatest teachers. Now, reason number 2, all successful people fail. All successful people fail. And when we see successful people, we only see like the end product, right? The final finished product of them being, this amazing star who hasn't failed ever in their life. But that's just not true. When you listen to these people, right, whether it's actors, actresses, singers, anyone you follow, right, when you listen to their interviews, their speeches, you read their books, most of them have had to go through adversity and have failed multiple times to get where they are. Example, J.K. Rowling, right? The author of the Harry Potter books. I think she just got rejected like so many times by many different publishers before, one publisher gave her the shot, right? But that took a lot of time. Thomas Edison, right? We know him as the guy who created the light bulb, right? Or invented the light bulb. But did you know that it took him 1001 attempts to get that right? No, probably not, right? We only just know these guys as literally the guy who created the light bulb, and that's it. But we don't hear about the blood, the sweat, the tears, the time, the effort that went into doing that, into succeeding, right? So all successful people fail, and that's a very common trait amongst them, right? They're not afraid, or they were not afraid of failing multiple times to get to where they are now. And reason number 3 is that in order to grow, you need to fail. In order to grow, you need to fail. And I think it sounds kind of similar to the previous 2. And yes, it does interlink. But I'm going to use a really good analogy that I think puts this into perspective, and it's from one of my favorite role models, Will Smith. Here's how it goes. When you go to the gym and you're training a certain muscle group, in order to grow, what you need to do is you need to do sets and repetitions of an exercise. And usually a general gym term is doing repetitions until failure, meaning you can't do anymore, right? You reach the point where your body just says no. But what happens in that process is you are basically tearing your muscle. And what happens is once you rest and you nurture yourself the right way, that muscle will repair itself and grow. So the next time, eventually, you're going to be able to get that next rep in. I'm not sure if that made sense to you, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to link the video in the description so you can go and watch it. It's only like a minute and a half long, but he explains it a lot better than I did. But hopefully that gives you some sort of perspective of what I was trying to say. So in order to grow, you need to fail. So those are the 3 reasons I have for you of why failure is so important and why we need to fail. I think it's a topic that I really wanted to address because too many of us have like a really bad relationship with failure, but it's obviously just such a fundamental part of our lives, considering we fail all the time. So instead of, feeling bad every time we fail, we need to try and switch our relationship to make it, to make us embrace failure, to actually have a positive relationship with it. And I think that way, if we do manage to build that relationship with it, it will, allow us to succeed a lot more and grow a lot more. So with that being said, that concludes episode 3 of the Nurture Network podcast. I gotta say, I'm really enjoying doing this, and I hope you are getting value from these podcasts as well. If you are, I would really appreciate that you subscribe to the podcast either on my YouTube channel or on Apple Podcast or Spotify, wherever you're watching this, and give it a 5-star rating on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Honestly, it would help a lot, and yeah, I just can't wait to do the next episode. Thanks again, guys. Take care.